There is one reason which you're probably overlooking as to why video games like Minecraft and stuff have gotten so popular in the modern day. And if you spend maybe 4 to 5 hours per day or even more on these video games, or even just 1 to 2 hours per day, then this could potentially apply to you. And while you probably expect me to say things like the dopamine inducing graphics, the overstimulating characters, themes, settings, and stuff like that, or even just like the invigorating audio, that would not be the case. And sure, that may be the case for some, that may be the reason that you were hooked. As I said, there is one reason which you've probably overlooked as to why you could potentially be hooked onto these video games. And it's the fact that it preys and plays on your inherent desires or even your current desires of life. I mean, you think of the game Minecraft, right? You literally spawn in the woods, you have to survive, you have to hunt and eat and build communities and stuff like that. That is quite literally what ancestral man would have been doing 5,000 or so years ago. And this almost like preys on your monkey brains and your instincts and your inherent like tribal desires. And it means that you get hooked onto these games because you want to do that kind of stuff. You want to play Minecraft in real life. You want to be the person that is hunting your animals and stuff like that. You're the one that wants to be building the houses so that you can sleep peacefully at night. But that's not the case because one, it's quite difficult to do those kind of things in real life, and therefore you turn to these games which like have a, like offer sort of an easy way out, an easy way for you to achieve your potential dreams of building tribes and surviving in the woods and kind of starting up your own sort of communities. And it gives the tribal life without the real discomfort that comes from actually hunting and building communities and stuff like that. And that could potentially be the reason that you were hooked because you want to live that tribal life because that is your inherent ancestral desire. But obviously, the modern day has kind of stopped you from achieving that with like the lack of woodland areas and countryside areas and where everything's quite urban or suburban. So you have to turn to video games and stuff to achieve the dreams that you want, and that could potentially be the reason that you're hooked. You could be the games are kind of preying on your ancestral inherent desires, but it could also be playing on current desires, your current desire to win. Many games offer this kind of competition based sort of thing. Many games have this kind of league ranking where you start like right at the bottom, you're maybe unranked or whatever, and then you kind of work your way up into like the bronze leagues, the gold leagues, the platinum leagues or whatever, until you're eventually like at the very top. And this level of competition really invigorates the inherent brain of you that want the part of your brain that wants to win because inherently as people we are competitive in nature, and the competition that is offered in video games is much easier than the competition that you get in real life. And people put their heart and soul into these games. Many people, as I said at the start, spend 4 to 5 hours a day grinding out these games, grinding out them against the competition, only for it to basically mean nothing unless you were like the top 10 in the world of a certain game mode or whatever. It realistically means absolutely nothing for you to be trying so hard and using up all your energy on these video games because realistically there are better things that could be used. Your energy could be 100% used for so many better things than this almost superficial competition that is provided incredibly easily by video game companies. You could be spending your time playing sports, playing competitive sports, and while you may say that, oh, competition in sports technically means nothing because you're not like making money or anything out of it, but like I may be making money out of video games or whatever. The competition out of sports makes you physically healthy. The competition out of sports will build you muscle. It will increase your testosterone. And it has so many more benefits, such as the social benefits as well as the physical benefits, instead of kind of sitting alone in your room playing video games for 4 to 5 hours a day, or even just 1 to 2, because you may think that you're not kind of subject to this talk about video games, even if you play 1 to 2 hours a day. But realistically, there are probably still better things for you to do in your time rather than like playing those 1 to 2 hours of video games a day. And even if you can't really think of that yet, and you may not be like addicted to video games, and it may not even be that every day. You may do this thing like once a week, but if you really analyze your daily life and your weekly life, you may realize there could be things that you enjoy more that could be better, that your energy could be better spent going towards. And there's also another reason that could be the reason that you are hooked to video games, which also kind of links to the way that video games kind of play on your desires, such as your desire to win, your desire to build communities and build a tribe, and live the ancestral life that is kind of still stuck in your brain. And it's also the desire to be the guy that's in the video game. When you kind of play these FPS shooters, you want to be the person that's getting the 360 no scopes. You want to be the person that's being the badass of the game. And this is likely to compensate for you not being the badass in real life. And it's the same as competition. The same thing applies to competition. If you are currently really competitive in video games and you put your heart and soul, all your energy into video games, it's quite likely that it's to compensate for a lack of competition or a lack of potentially winning competition in real life. You may say that you're not very competitive in real life, but you'll still put your heart and soul into winning like video game matches and stuff like that, which shows that you are inherently competitive. But because you may not win things in real life, you cope and say that, oh, I'm not competitive and stuff like that, despite the fact that as like a human race, a human species, we are inherently competitive because that is what is necessary to survive. And this video game offers an easy way out for you to be the person you want to be or be the winner you want to be without having to put in like as much effort as you would do if it was to actually matter in real life. Because the fact is, you have to treat life like a game. You have to treat life like it's a competition if you want to kind of actually progress. As well as the kind of league rankings and league systems that you get in video games, you also get the kind of level systems, like level 1, amateur, level 100, like advanced and stuff like that. You have to treat life as if it's a level system. You have to treat your habits and stuff like that as if it's a level system. Meditation, for instance. When you start to get onto self-improvement, you may have started self-improvement, you may be doing meditation currently, or you may not, and it's something I do recommend doing. When you start, you will struggle at first. You'll be like level 1 noob or whatever. But then as you do it repetitively over days, over months, over years, as you kind of understand more about the fundamentals and about the more advanced tactics that you can use, then you start to level up. You start to level up in your ability to meditate and regulate your thoughts and feelings and analyze the things that are kind of going on inside your brain. And obviously that's a beneficial skill, and it means that you will level up not just in meditation alone, but in life. And it's the same thing with the gym. Every time you hit a new bench press PR, or you hit a new kind of rep goal, maybe you hit like 10 reps on the bench press instead of 8 reps, that is still leveling up. That is the equivalent of like leveling up in the gym, but it will also, because it's beneficial to your actual real life self and it actually matters in some kind of way, unlike some of the things that are in video games, you actually like, it actually matters and you actually start to level up in real life. And that is the key to starting to progress onto self-improvement. You have to see life as a game, and then when you kind of discover more things about self-improvement, the speed of which that you progress up levels will exponentially increase. You will struggle to get things right in the gym at first. You will gain strength, but you may not be seeing results like on your muscles and stuff like that. You may not be able to meditate for longer than 5 minutes, but the more you do it, the more the J curve will kind of exponentially grow. And you just have to kind of have faith in said J curve for you to actually be able to build something out of your life. And sure, while you, as I said before, while you still may only play 1 to 2 hours of video games or something a week, and you may think that you are still like competitive in real life, you do still meditate and go to the gym, maybe it is still better off to analyze how you are spending your time, how you are spending those 1 to 2 hours of your day, because potentially you could still use those 1 to 2 hours to not level up in the games that you play for those 1 to 2 hours a week, but to actually level up in another area in real life which you may be kind of struggling in or maybe constraining you. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you found value out of this video, and I recommend subscribing because I like this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. And good luck.